welcome Minister Greg Hunt, with us here today, and the Head of the Therapeutic Goods Administration, Professor John Skerritt, who also joins us today. Australia faces many challenges. This has been a very hard year for so many Australians. The world's not getting any easier. The challenges aren't getting any lesser. But the way we deal with things in Australia is we always seek to do them very much in our own Australian way. And a key part of doing that is always working hard to get the right balance. There's no doubt that problems we face are complex. They're difficult. They have many dimensions. They can't be simplistically explained or dealt with. And I understand that Australians get that too. They know there aren't easy fixes to the challenges that we face as a country, and they expect governments to wrestle with the pressures that are facing our country and seek to strike the right balance, to get that balance right. And that's what we've been seeking to do on so many issues, but none more greatly than our government's response and Australia's response more broadly to the global pandemic and the COVID-19 recession that has resulted from that pandemic. Whether that's getting the balance right when it comes to our economic response, which yesterday's national accounts has demonstrated that Australia's response has been right, that it has been timely, that it has been proportionate, that it has been well targeted, and the results are there to see. But yet there is still a long way to go, and that's why our economic programs stretch out across the forward estimates, across the next few years in particular. A very strong portfolio of initiatives, particularly those announced in the recent budget, which will continue to support our economic recovery in the years ahead. I think one of the great proof points of the success of that plan, of that strategy, is the fact that some 450,000 businesses in Australia have graduated from JobKeeper. 2 million Australians, in fact more than that, are no longer depending on taxpayers for their income support through JobKeeper. They've graduated from that also. At the same time, with JobSeeker, we have not seen an overall increase in the number of people in JobSeeker. In fact, we've seen a moderation of that. And I think what this demonstrates is the economy is changing gears again, and we are moving forward again. The figures themselves quite specifically show that the Australian economy is literally moving. Transport, accommodation, hotels, restaurants. People in Australia are moving again, and that's good for the economy as we see the borders come tumbling down around the country, as we hoped would achieve. But that's being done safely, to safely open so that we can remain open safely. This is incredibly important for our recovery. Our economic recovery, though, is built on the platform of our health response. This is so critical, as we've seen around the world, that our health response creates the economic opportunities, and the two work together hand in hand. Whether that was the build-up in the early phase of our ICUs, our PPE equipment, the testing reagents and other things which the Minister was so critical in securing for the safety of Australians, or working through the hotel quarantine challenges together with the states and territories, or indeed the testing regimes as they've been rolled out on an industrial scale, and of course the arrangements for tracing that have been extraordinary. Now, you'll be aware of the reports this morning in New South Wales. I've been in touch with the Premier this morning. She'll be speaking later today. But as always, I have great confidence in the New South Wales government's testing and tracing capabilities. They're gold standard not just in this country but anywhere around the world. They've dealt with these issues in their stride before while keeping their economy open. 6.8% growth in New South Wales along with Queensland. Both of them have strong tracing and testing regimes in those states, which enables us to remain open safely. But the other challenge, as we've worked past these last few months, has been to prepare Australia for a vaccine. The arrangements have been put in place to secure access to 4 vaccines, all of which are proving to be very promising, but still have stages to pass. in the months ahead, and that's why Professor Skerritt joins us here this morning. But as is the case with the vaccine and the many other challenges that we face, we've got to get that balance right, and we will implement the vaccine here in Australia according to Australian needs and Australian conditions and the challenges and opportunities we have here. Our COVID-19 situation at the moment I would describe as very stable, with the protections in place to ward against and to deal with any outbreaks as they arise, as we've seen in recent weeks and months. But that said, as we move into the vaccine period, our first priority is that it be safe. It must be safe for Australians, and that's what they would expect of us. So the vaccination policy has been established, it has been agreed by Cabinet, and it has also been endorsed by the National Cabinet. The vaccine strategy is now in its advanced stage of preparation, and that will further be considered by the Cabinet, the Federal Cabinet, and we're working closely with the states and territories and the rollout plans that stem from that strategy. And so I've asked the Health Minister to join me today with Professor Skerritt to take you through those next steps. You'll be aware of the decisions that have been taken in the United Kingdom, no doubt. The UK will need to deal with their situation and their circumstances in their way. Of course they should. And it's been a consistent theme around the world that each nation has had its own set of unique challenges. In Australia, we're in a very strong position, and that enables us to get this right, to get the balance right, to ensure first and foremost the safety, which enables us to then roll out the vaccine successfully across the country. Australia has one of the highest rates of vaccinations anywhere in the world, and the reason for that is standing to my right, the Therapeutic Goods Administration and the important processes that they put in place to protect the safety of Australians.